How's it going, guys? Salty Uchiha, 1/3 of the Golden Triangle, Anime Late Night Podcast, Anime Late Night Podcast 2, TOO, Anime Late Night Gaming, all plugs in, let's go in. So today we're going to be talking about Goku. And this is a video that I've been thinking about for a little while now, and I didn't really know how to approach it. But I think I'm ready. I'm ready. So let's get into this. So as the title details, Goku, Universe 7's greatest hero or worst villain. Okay, so one of the cases I want to bring up on this is what's about to happen in Super Now in episode 77, where Goku can't find anybody to spar with. He's getting bored. He's looking forward to the tournament that the Ami King has proposed, but he's about to push it forward a lot further than it was probably meant to. And he's doing this for his own amusement. And as you guys have seen in the trailer, that's when they find out that what's up for stake and everything like that. And it's pretty much because of Goku. Now, you're probably like, all right, Salty, you're still making a pretty big claim by saying he's Universe 7's greatest villain. Well, I said greatest hero or greatest villain. As a hero, I mean, Goku is out to do what he feels is right in his own mind. The problem is, over the years, he's one of the main advocates for why things are all messed up the way they are. And that right there in itself is a problem. So here's where the situation comes into. I want to go back, and I'll use this as a piece of my argument with the Goku Black arc. Now, Goku Black, as we all know, Zamasu and the Zamasu that occupied Goku's body to become Goku Black, both blame Trunks or future Trunks for what happened, the No Mortals initiative. They blame him directly because he messed with time, and said if he hadn't have gone back into the past to save Goku, there'd be no Goku Black. With there being no Goku Black, there wouldn't be any mortals. There wouldn't be a No Mortals initiative. The problem is, though, is in Trunks' time, if he didn't do that, everybody in his timeline would have been killed anyway. Which is what Zamasu and Goku Black were basically saying. They were destined to all die, and he messed with the common order of things. Now, that is their particular argument, and I understand it to a degree. Don't get me wrong. At the same time, I have to put some of that blame. I can't put all of it on Goku, but I can put at least half of it on Goku, because remember when they come back and tell him, when Trunks comes back and tells him that there's somebody even stronger than him, and then he finds Zamasu and he fights him. That fight with Zamasu did two things. One, it shook his resolve, and two, it hurt his pride. He looked at from that point on, he looked at mortals as a threat, as a real threat, one that he may have never taken into account before that point, I should say. And that's why he came up with the idea he did. And he also realized that, at least amongst Saiyans, their potential speaks for themselves. So taking Goku's body was the perfect choice. And working out his plan. And then going and getting another Zamasu wouldn't have been a problem. He's merely just trying to convince himself. But what if everything had played out as planned, but when Goku was told of an extremely strong opponent, he just kept his mouth shut? What if he just left it alone and was like, okay, there's a stronger opponent, and he just let it be, instead of wanting to go out there, meet Zamasu, and then challenge him? What if that didn't happen? Would Zamasu still have gone the way he did? Now, keep in mind, this is all just speculation. Don't get me wrong, and it's very situational on what would have happened. A lot of things need to fall into place. A lot of things needed to fall into place for that to happen. A lot of things would need it to kind of refall into place for what I'm proposing to go on. So don't get me wrong. With that being said, we still very much have a problem with Goku and what he does and how he looks to and how he looks at the world essentially. I feel that Goku doesn't go out of his way purposely to hurt people, which is obvious and whatnot. I think though he does very much live by his own cuff, and he doesn't think, which we all can agree to, he doesn't think about his actions when he does it. So he just goes with what he feels like going with and let the chips fall where they may. Here's the problem though. It's costed people their lives. And I don't think that's something that any of us here can really debate. That the moves that he's... If you really think about it, all the people who died in Trunks' timeline died because of him. The moment Goku Black showed up, and every life he took was pretty much in Goku's name, to be perfectly honest with you. Trunks was just there at the moment, but it was very much in Goku's name. And ironically enough, I had been thinking about this. If you think about how Goku Black handled that situation with Trunks, where in the anime I'm talking about specifically, where he'd beat him up and then he'd let him run off, and then he'd beat him up again and let him run off. He toyed with him, and the same thing what he did with Goku Black and Goku. Even though he gave them a bit more respect and showed a bit more initiative, but he toyed with them. He toyed with them in the same way that Goku does with his opponents at times, and whatnot. He wanted to stretch out. Not only was he trying to stretch out the limitations to the body that he's in to see, what's the max he could get out of it, but at the same time, though, too, he very much played with his food to see what he could get out of it, to see what would benefit him. Sounds a lot like Goku, doesn't it? You know what I mean? You look past the goofy smile, and you see someone who's very much out for himself. And it's funny because we used to hold Vegeta in very high regards as being an asshole and a dick and all this. And I'm not saying that he's not. I'm still a big fan of Vegeta regardless. That doesn't change anything. But I'm not saying that he's not. But what I will also say, though, is that despite that, even Vegeta knew that sometimes you just need to take people out. And you need to get it done early and whatnot. That you can't play around forever. With that being said, and now so that's like my opening argument. Now let's talk about going into the Universal Survival tournament. If Goku's the one who initiated it, then it's if he's the one who initiated it, then it's his fault, because he's probably thinking in his own mind, oh, it'll be just like the first tournament we had between Universe 6 and 7 and whatnot. And he's probably looking at, oh, there'll just be more people, it'll be a lot more powerful opponents. He's not thinking that these two Zamatsus that he's brought together are going to end up making the stakes a lot higher and whatnot, which is one of the real big problems that's going to come out of this arc. Is that we've got two Zamatsus two Zenos who one probably doesn't really give a shit, and the other one is just looking to be amused. And now there's going to be a whole lot at stake, and Goku's not going to be ready for that. And since Goku is not going to be ready for it, now he has to just take whatever comes, and that right there is a scary sight in itself. And then and then I'm not even going to get into the 12 gods yet, gods of destruction. I'll talk about that in a minute in another video. But this is a lot of this is going to be Goku's doing, and he's not ready for it. He's only thinking about what's in front of him and whatnot, and not looking at the long term. And the long term is what gets people hurt and gets people killed. And a lot of people have pointed out, oh, well, what about when Zamatsu and Goku Black told him how they killed Chi-Chi and Goten in that alternate timeline, and how mad Goku got. You want to know why Goku got mad? He didn't get mad that they killed them. He got mad because it was his fault they got killed. That's why he was mad. He's not mad, let me reword that. He's not mad just because they were butchered the way they were. He was mad because it was his fault and whatnot. That's really what it was. And at the end of the day, he probably doesn't really care too much anyway, because at the end of the day, his timeline is just fine. And that's the thing that we really didn't pay attention to coming out of the Goku Black arc, is the fact that at the end of the day, Goku's not that remorseful, because he didn't have any real consequences. Remember, in that timeline, his son's already dead. In Future Trunks' timeline, I think his whole family's already dead. So what did he really have to lose? And losing Bulma, whatever, You know what I'm saying? In his timeline, he's comfortable. He's complacent even, which gives him even more callous to fuck with other people's timelines and to certainly fuck with other people's universes, which we're about to see now. His anticipation for the tournament has got him so revved up, very much like a kid, that it's about to cost people their lives, and he doesn't even notice it. And even if he did, if he's going to do the best he can and let the chips fall where they may. Now, am I saying that he's a total psychopath? No, I'm not saying that at all. And I'm not saying that the man doesn't have merit and he hasn't done great things and whatnot. But at the same time, though, too, he's betted wrong on a number of occasions. That's how he got killed in the Cell games against Cell. He got killed because he overestimated Gohan's, not his ability, but his willingness to use that ability. And that ended up getting him killed, ended up killing King Kai, ended up killing everybody, Bubbles, Gregory. He had destroyed that whole planet when he could have easily just sent him out there. He could have teleported him out there into the vacuums of space. He could have easily just teleported him out into space and blown him up there. But no, remember what he said. He's like, "I'm sorry, King Kai. I couldn't think of anywhere else to take him." So you killed King Kai to do what? To save yourself, because you knew you could be wished back. Granted, King Kai could be wished back too. They just never got around to it, which is another interesting theory in itself. But that's one of my main problems that I have. But what do you guys think? Like I said, I don't think the guy's Goku's a sociopath. I don't think he's out to fuck over people just because. But at the same time, though, too, there's very little consequences for him when he does it. But that's just my own personal opinion. I'm not a Goku hater per se. It's just something that I'd like to bring up. It's just some thoughts that I had. Alright guys, episode 77 will be out tomorrow, Dragon Ball Super. I'm looking forward to it. I will start doing Dragon Ball Super English dub reviews. I know I'm a little bit behind on that. I think I'm like 3 episodes behind. I will eventually sit down, watch the English dubs, and get them out. Better late than never. And that's it, guys. There's going to be a lot of videos coming out today. Hope you enjoy them. And expect a lot of Dragon Ball Super material to come out between now and episode 77 and the beginning of the tournament. And I'll holler at y'all later. Salty Uchiha, out.